Blaugrana family, listen up. Like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any Barça news, because what we're discussing today is far more than just a transfer rumor. It's a deep reflection on the club's future, an analysis that blends strategy, emotion, and ambition. And we're starting strong, because the name Frankie De Jang is back on everyone's lips, and this time, the situation deserves serious attention. Frankie De Jang, a crossroads for Barça. Frankie De Jang, the 28-year-old Dutch midfielder, is at the heart of a storm that could redefine Barcelona's immediate future. His contract, which runs until 2026, has become a headache for the board. Not because of his performances, let's be clear, Frankie remains an exceptional player, but because of the complications surrounding his contract renewal. We're talking about a necessary salary reduction and a change of agent, two issues that have stalled negotiations and opened the door to a scenario no one could have imagined a few years ago: his departure. And when you see clubs like Arsenal, with a determined Mikel Arteta eager to sign him, positioning themselves so clearly, you realize this story could have an unexpected ending. But listen, Kules, don't be fooled. Frankie's potential sale shouldn't be seen as a defeat, but as an opportunity. An opportunity to reorganize and strengthen the squad, to free up resources for strategic signings that align with the club's philosophy. Because that's what Barça is all about, a balance between tradition and innovation, experience and youth. Frankie has been a cornerstone, a key player in building the team's play, with a flawless ball progression, masterful game control, and fluid transitions. But football is also about timing, project planning, and sometimes, a good buy can be the prelude to something even greater. A strategic opportunity. Mikel Arteta and Arsenal see Frankie as the missing link to dominate the Premier League. And that's where things get interesting for Barça. Because if Frankie leaves, it won't be a pure loss. It could be an operation that benefits the club both economically and sportingly. The funds generated from a potential transfer would allow Barça to target profiles better suited to the team's current needs, players who can bring freshness, quality, and adaptability. And let's be honest, seeing Frankie thrive in a demanding league like the Premier League, where he could continue to shine, wouldn't be a bad thing for his legacy. Meanwhile, Barça would have the means to rebuild intelligently, betting on talents that better fit the club's long-term vision. Joan Laporta's dilemma. Joan Laporta and his sporting director face a tough decision, but one that makes sense. It's not just about contractual details, it's about maximizing available resources to ensure every market move strengthens the team in a balanced way. The goal? To maintain competitiveness on all fronts while facilitating the arrival of players who can bring that spark, quality, and adaptability that's currently missing. Frankie De Jang, with his consistent performances in official matches, has proven he's a world-class player, capable of attracting interest from Europe's biggest clubs. And it's precisely this value that could turn this operation into a win for all parties. For Barça, it would be an opportunity to strategically plan the future of the midfield, integrating profiles better suited to the team's needs, players with the potential to solidify the squad long-term. Imagine for a moment, a rejuvenated, dynamic midfield, with players capable of adapting to Hansi Flick's tactical demands, while bringing that touch of creativity and control that has always defined Barça. The human side. And then there's the human aspect. Frankie has given so much to this club. He's been a warrior on the pitch, a silent but effective leader. But football is a ruthless sport, where decisions sometimes have to be made with the head, not the heart. And if this departure happens, it wouldn't be a sad goodbye, but a smart transition, a necessary step to build a stronger, more competitive team, ready to face future challenges. Niko Paw, the future of Barca's midfield? The name Niko Paw is echoing louder and louder in the halls of Camp Nou, and for good reason. This young Argentinian midfielder, currently shining in Serie A, is becoming one of Joan Laporta's top priorities. At just 20 years old, Paw embodies everything Barça is looking for: raw talent, sharp tactical intelligence, game-changing creativity, and above all, an insatiable hunger to grow in a club that matches his ambitions. And guess what? That club is ours. What makes this story even more exciting is that Niko Paw has already hinted that he dreams of wearing the Blaugrana jersey. Imagine, a player of his caliber, with his versatile profile, capable of adapting to different midfield roles, arriving at Camp Nou with a determination to establish himself as a starter. It's not just about talent, it's about a perfect fit. Paw has everything it takes to succeed here: technique, game vision, and the ability to read matches like a veteran. And then there's that almost romantic human dimension, which could turn this story into a legend. Because Paz is the kind of player who understands Barca's DNA, who breathes possession football, creativity, and associative play. Joan Laporta has sensed the opportunity. He knows this kind of chance doesn't come every day. So he's preparing to enter the fray, to negotiate with determination to convince both the player and his current club that Barca is the ideal destination for the next step in his career. And honestly, who could blame him? Barca is more than a club. It's an institution where young talents like Paz can flourish, grow, and become legends. It's a project that combines ambition, history, and a unique philosophy of play. What's fascinating about Paz is that he's already proven himself in Serie A league known for its tactical rigor and physical demands. He's earned the respect of his teammates, coaches, and even opponents. But he's also shown that he's open to new challenges, that he doesn't want to settle for what he's already achieved. And that's exactly the kind of mindset Barca loves, a player who is hungry, eager to learn, determined to grow, and ready to do whatever it takes to succeed. A new chapter for Barca's midfield. So, Kules, the question is clear. What do you think about Frankie's potential departure and the arrival of Niko Paw? Could Paz be the future of Barca's midfield, bringing youth, talent, and ambition to the team? A player capable of balancing the game, generating creativity, and taking responsibility in decisive moments? The floor is yours, because this transfer, if it happens, won't just strengthen the squad. It could ignite the passion of all Kules and mark a new chapter in Barca's history. A chapter that would guarantee competitiveness, talent, and a forward-thinking vision at the heart of the midfield. Blaugrana family, the excitement is building. Like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates, because the media in Argentina and Italy are already talking about Niko Paw as a major qualitative leap in his career. In Argentina, he's seen as a future leader of the national team, a player capable of dominating midfield for years to come. In Italy, it's acknowledged that a talent like his can't stay in Serie A forever, no matter how prestigious the league is. He's destined for a global elite club, and the fact that Barca is ready to open its doors to him is news that thrills both his entourage and Kules alike. Hansi Flick's dream midfielder. Hansi Flick must already be drooling at the thought of integrating a player like Paw into his system. Imagine him in midfield, dictating the tempo, creating imbalances, and launching precise attacks. He could become the modern midfielder Barca has been searching for: physical, tactically intelligent, and capable of making a difference in big games. And then there's the symbolic aspect. Signing Paw would send a strong message to the football world. Barca remains a top destination for young talents, a club that knows how to blend tradition and modernity, a project where you can dream and win. The fans are already imagining Paw in Blaugrana, strolling across the Camp Nou pitch, delivering pinpoint passes, and gradually becoming an idol. Because Paw is the kind of player who can define an era. A player with the potential to become a symbol, a leader, one of those midfielders who make a difference in the matches that matter. Moises Caicedo, a statement of intent. Now, let's talk about Moises Caicedo, a name that has been electrifying Kules for days. According to the renowned journalist Fabrizio Romano, negotiations between Barca and Chelsea are advancing rapidly, and everything suggests that Caicedo could be arriving at Camp Nou in the coming days. This has already ignited excitement among the fans, because Moises Caicedo is so much more than just a reinforcement. He's a declaration of intent. Hansi Flick has explicitly requested his arrival.
Why?
Because Caicedo embodies everything the German coach is looking for in a midfielder: balance, defensive solidity, and the ability to initiate play with intelligence. At just 22 years old, he already has the makings of a complete midfielder, capable of dominating physically, winning back possession, and launching attacks with surgical precision. And then there's his mental toughness. Caicedo is a warrior, a player who never backs down, who has already proven himself in the Premier League, one of the most demanding leagues in the world. Joan Laporta understands the stakes. He's ready to pay the €60 million demanded by Chelsea, a sum that reflects Caicedo's quality and potential. But for Barca, this is above all a strategic investment. Recruiting Caicedo isn't just about strengthening the squad for the upcoming season. It's also about securing a player who can dominate midfield for the next decade. A player who could become the beating heart of this team, a leader both on and off the pitch. In Ecuador, the news has exploded like a bomb. Local media are presenting this transfer as a major qualitative leap for Caicedo, an opportunity to join a legendary club where he can continue to grow, face the best, and perhaps one day lift trophies. Because that's what Barça is all about, a club where talents like Caicedo can flourish, surrounded by a structure that pushes them to excel, where they can write their own legend. At Chelsea, they're already starting to resign themselves. The English board understands that Caicedo has his heart set on Barça and is willing to do whatever it takes to make his dream come true. And that puts Barça in a position of strength, allowing them to negotiate with confidence, knowing the player is 100% motivated. An ideal situation to finalize the deal quickly and allow Caicedo to integrate into his new project as soon as possible. For Queues, Caicedo's arrival would represent so much more than just a signing. It would be the symbol of an ambitious Barça, capable of attracting the best talents in the world and determined to return to the top. A player like him guarantees a solid, creative, and formidable midfield. A player who can change everything: the rhythm of matches, the balance of the team, and even the mental dynamic of the group. Imagine him alongside players like PEDRI or GAVI, forming a midfield capable of dominating any team. Imagine him in La Liga, in the Champions League, imposing his will, winning back possession, launching lightning-fast counterattacks. Caicedo is the kind of player who can make the difference in big games, who can turn a defeat into a victory with a single move. And then there's the emotional dimension. Seeing a player like him, young, talented, and already an international star, choose Barça over another European giant restores faith in the future. It proves that the club still attracts the best, that the sporting project is solid, and that Barca's story is far from over. Fabrizio Romano is right to emphasize that negotiations are moving quickly. And for once, Queues can afford to be optimistic. Because this time, everything seems to be aligning: a motivated player, a determined president, a coach who believes in this signing, and a fanbase ready to welcome Caicedo with open arms. Yes, the contractual details still need to be finalized, and the last formalities completed. But the essential is there. Barça and Moises Caicedo seem made for each other. The big question for Queues. The question on everyone's lips is simple: what do you think of these moves? Could the potential sale of Frankie De Jang, as painful as it may be, actually be a smart decision to reorganize the midfield and free up resources for more suitable signings? And could Niko Paw and Moises Caicedo truly become the future pillars of Barça? Players capable of bringing balance, creativity, and that touch of genius that makes all the difference. Because one thing is certain: Joan Laporta has a clear vision: to build a competitive, solid team ready to dominate Europe once again. And for that, he's willing to make tough but necessary decisions. Hansi Flick needs players like Paw and Caicedo to impose his style and turn Barça into a winning machine. And we, the Queues, have the right to dream. The right to imagine a rejuvenated, dynamic, and fearsome midfield. The right to believe that this season could mark the beginning of a new era. So, tell me in the comments, are you for or against selling Frankie? Do you think Niko Paw and Moises Caicedo are the ideal recruits to relaunch Barça? And most importantly, are you ready to get excited about this new team, this new project? Because I am. And I can feel that this season could be the start of a renewal.